Okay, so get this. Imagine someone hands you a book and tells you to eat it. Sounds pretty bizarre, right? Well, that's the strange vision we're unpacking today, from one of the most mysterious texts in the Bible. It's a moment that's both incredible and, well, kind of terrible all at the same time. So this wild image comes straight from the book of Revelation, the very last book in the Bible. The prophet John gets a command from this mighty angel who tells him, "Take this small book and eat it." And the experience is totally surreal. At first, it tastes amazing, sweet as honey. But the second he swallows it, his stomach just turns, filled with this awful, intense bitterness. So what in the world could that possibly mean? A sweet book that makes your stomach bitter? Well, according to one really fascinating interpretation, the answer isn't about looking to the future. It's about looking way, way back to a little-known ancient law in the Old Testament.
Our first big clue takes us all the way back to this ancient law which we find in the book of Numbers.
You see, the key to unlocking this whole mystery might just lie in this really strange and intense ritual called the trial of bitter water. And this ancient practice, it becomes the main metaphor, the lens through which we can understand that sweet and bitter book in Revelation. Now check this out. This ritual sets up this powerful idea that a book filled with curses could literally be consumed. The words on the page are washed off and become a real substance with actual life-or-death power. This whole concept of an edible book of curses is absolutely central to the prophecy. And you know, this idea of a book of curses wasn't just some one-off thing. It pops up again as a major theme in the book of Deuteronomy, which lays out this whole catalog of sins and exactly what happens if you commit them. And the law gets super specific. It talks about these really fundamental violations against God and family. You know, things like worshiping idols, dishonoring your parents, the kind of deeply disruptive acts that tear at the fabric of society. But these warnings go way beyond just personal piety. They have this powerful social dimension to them, all about protecting the most vulnerable people from being exploited. We're talking about stuff like moving a neighbor's property line, tricking a blind person, or taking a bribe to hurt an innocent. And here's the kicker. It's not just about avoiding a few major sins. The law presents itself as a complete system, a whole package deal with this final, catch-all curse for anyone who fails to uphold any part of it.
Okay, so this creates a huge tension, a real puzzle. The ancient law says these actions result in a curse, right? But let's be honest, we see people doing these things all the time, and lightning doesn't exactly strike. There are no immediate supernatural consequences, so it makes you wonder, what happened to all those curses?
And that very question, where did all the curses go, that's what leads us right back to the sweet and bitter book. This is where all the pieces of this puzzle finally start to click together. So, why was the book sweet as honey? Well, that sweetness represents the pure joy and wonder of Revelation. It's that aha moment, that incredible feeling of finally understanding God's plan and seeing how all the pieces of the prophecy fit together. But that sweet understanding is immediately followed by that bitter, churning stomach. And that bitterness symbolizes the horrifying content of the prophecy. You see, the prophet gets the plan, but the plan itself involves a future judgment, a day when all those unfulfilled curses from the law will finally be poured out on the world as God's wrath. So, in this view, that little book isn't made of paper and ink. It's more like a divine record, a symbol of every pending curse and every unpunished sin throughout all of history, all consolidated and just waiting for a final day of reckoning.
So, if the book really represents a future judgment, what is its message for us today? What's the ultimate takeaway here?
The conclusion here is that this whole vision isn't just about scaring people with a sneak peek of the apocalypse. It's actually meant as a clear and present warning. It's using that ancient list of curses as a moral guide for how to live, right here, right now. Ultimately, this super complex apocalyptic vision, it's boiled down to a very direct instruction. Remember what is written in that symbolic book of curses and just stay away from the things God hates. And that leaves us with a final, pretty big thought to chew on. This way of seeing it transforms a terrifying prophecy about future wrath into a really practical guide for the present. And it makes you wonder, what if the ultimate point of prophecy isn't just to predict the future, but to radically change how we live in it?